Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox. I would like to welcome you to the Sunday Book Review. The Sunday Book Review is the series where I discuss books which impact the compliance practitioner, the legal professional, and the business professional. I hope you will enjoy this episode. The North Star for every employer, manager, and HR professional is to create a supportive culture where the employees are empowered to reach their full potential. Now more than ever, that objective starts with Ginger, a comprehensive mental health system for employees. Right now, there is little that is more important than mental health in terms of getting the most out of employees. Ginger is reinventing mental health care to provide immediate and on-demand personalized support for your employees. Here's how it works. Ginger brings immediate, high-quality mental health support right from a smartphone. With Ginger, members can connect with behavioral health coaches via text 24/7. This revolutionizes mental health care for employees in terms of having an on-demand access to mental health support. Employees can get help with setting and working towards goals around anxiety, sleep, relationship, stress, and much more. For in-depth care, Ginger offers video therapy and psychiatry. Coaches, therapists, and psychiatrists work together to ensure each Ginger member gets seamless care tailored to their lives. Nearly 25 million people around the world have access to the Ginger on-demand mental health system. Sign up your team today. To learn more about how Ginger can support your employees' mental health, visit ginger.com/compliance. That's ginger.com/compliance. The Sunday Book Review for October 31, 2021, the Halloween edition. And for today's episode, we're going to take up 4 books that you should read for Halloween. First up, The Once and Future Witches by Alix Harrow, a witch origin story set in 1893. The book follows the Eastwood sisters together after an unwanted separation as they join suffragettes of New Salem. The suffragette movement starts to parallel a bubbling witches movement that only the sisters can lead if they can bind the wounds between themselves. Harrow follows up her Hugo Award win with a highly enjoyable, inherently feminist novel. Next up, The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This is one very classic supernatural thriller by an author who helped define the genre. Published in 1959, The Haunting of Hill House has been hailed as a perfect work of unnerving terror. It's the story of 4 seekers who arrive at notoriously unfriendly house, Hill House, where Dr. Montague and occult scholars looking for solid evidence of a haunting. It has as Theodora his assistant, Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman, and Luke, the future heir. At first, their stay seems destined to merely be a spooky encounter, but as Hill House gathers its powers, it will soon choose to make one or all of them their own. Next up, we have 2 classics for you. First is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I hope you would take the time to read this, although the Bela Lugosi interpretation I thought was fabulous and certainly my favorite of the movies. This book really takes a deeper dive into some of the characters. Renfield is much more fully developed. And of course, Mina is also as well. Dr. Vince Sloan is someone that you understand how and why he is such a formidable foe for Count Dracula, the scenes of arrival in England and how Count Dracula literally takes over the countryside are some of the most chilling that I've ever read. And we conclude with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Once again, fairly different than the movies, although certainly different than the Boris Karloff original Frankenstein movie. And the relationship between Dr. Frankenstein and his creation, the creature, who's, of course, named the creature in both the first movie and the book. Frankenstein's not the name. It's Frankenstein's monster. Travels literally across the globe to meet his maker, Dr. Henry Frankenstein. Lots going on as both the bride story as well as the travelogue. And you have to remember this was written in, I think, 1815 by young Mary Shelley. So it's a great novel and it's a great read. I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you'll join me for a great new podcast series entitled Effing Argentina. In this podcast series, myself and Greg Greenberg, the author of Effing Argentina, explore the current American psyche of being overworked, overleveraged, overtired, and overwhelmed. If you are exasperated with current American life, this is the podcast for you. In this month's The Compliance Life, I'm joined by John Milliken, currently a managing director at Exeter and former CCO at American Express Travel. What is design thinking for compliance professionals? How can you use design thinking in compliance? This is a new podcast series I'll be premiering in October, co-hosted with Karsten Tams, where we take a look at cutting-edge social engineering strategies you can use in your compliance program. Finally, I invite you to check out my latest podcast addition to the Compliance Podcast Network, the ESG Report. In this podcast, I focus on the role of compliance in ESG going forward. I know you will enjoy it and, more importantly, find it useful. Thanks for listening.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.